Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 32 of the Brandon Holt Show featuring neurosurgeon Dr. Grant Booher, celebrity journalist TK Trinidad, transplant surgeon Dr. Guiteau, legal expert Symone Redwine, and here to perform live, Grammy Award-winning recording artist Rudy Currence, YouTube Live. Now put your hands together for our host.
You're already clapping. You're already clapping. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Houston's own internationally acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon Holt.
Guiteau, abdominal transplant surgeon at Medical City, Fort Worth. You can catch me on the Brandon Holt Show at 7 p.m. talking all things COVID, as well as addressing healthcare disparities in the United States. Looking forward to having a great conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome returning guest, abdominal transplant surgeon, his new segment, On Beat with Dr. G. Dr. G is in the house. Doc, how you doing?
Brandon, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for bringing me back on the show. Looking forward to our conversation.
Doc, you are welcome. It's always good to have you. Hey, we're talking COVID-19, big things going on the news right now, talking about the vaccine. Should I take it? Where can I get it? Do I have to take it? Tell us what the latest is, Doc.
Absolutely. COVID-19 has been running the airways, and rightfully so. The good news is we've been seeing a decreased number of patients in the hospital. So all of you guys out there who've been wearing your masks and socially distancing, you've been doing a great job, because the only way through this pandemic is to make sure that we do what's recommended by the CDC and consider getting that vaccine as well. The vaccine is something that's been really hard to come by. So if you're feeling a little bit confused, you're joining probably 90% of the rest of the country. But the best place for information regarding vaccinations is to go to your local health department's website. Here in Tarrant County, they have information regarding registration for vaccination. They're currently vaccinating patients in 1A and 1B, tier 1A and 1B. Those are healthcare workers, people over the age of 65, people with long-standing chronic conditions, and things of those sort. But that does not mean you cannot register if you don't meet those criteria. Make sure you go to the public health department in your area. You're able to sign up and register for a vaccination regardless of what tier you're in, and then you'll receive some type of communication regarding when you can show up for the vaccine.
So, Dr. G, what are some of the side effects that people can expect to experience once they take the vaccine?
Yeah, I've been vaccinated, and the most significant side effect I experienced, which most people will experience, will be pain at the site of injection. If you think about getting your flu shot or something along those lines, you'll have similar soreness at the site of the injection itself. I found that the first shot was the one that had the most pain, but then the second shot had some of the other side effects, including things like fatigue, muscle aches. Some people even really get some high-grade fevers. I suggest getting the second vaccination if you're getting one of the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. The second vaccination at the time when you're going to have the next day off, because it really can cause some cloudiness and foggy mentation and things like that. So you don't want to necessarily show up to work or have to be at 100% after the second shot. And
I was reading the news just yesterday that, and help me if I'm off on this, that COVID possibly is not going anywhere, and it can be around just like the flu or other, forever diseases or illnesses that will require a yearly vaccine. Is there any truth to that, or is that just a myth?
Brandon, that's a great point. I think we all have gotten reserved to the fact that it seems COVID is going to be around for a while. Remember, coronavirus, this is not a novel virus. It's not brand new. This variation of the virus is brand new. So coronavirus is something we've been dealing with for a long time. It causes the common cold. It's just that this mutation or this type of coronavirus is very contagious as well as lethal in certain cases. So coronavirus is not going somewhere. COVID is probably something we're going to be dealing with for the foreseeable future. And so we are going to be dealing with COVID for the upcoming months and years. And so with that, I think we are going to learn to treat COVID, and we also have to learn to live with COVID, kind of like the seasonal flu. And as we learn more about this particular strand of COVID, the vaccines will get better, our medications will get better, and then our ability to deal with the virus will get better. But if we're able to hit the 70 to 80% vaccination rate that they've been quoting in the news, we should be able to return to some semblance of what life was like before this pandemic.
Now, when you say we should be able to return, are you saying without the mask, or will we have to continue to wear our mask?
And that's another great point. I think we're going to be wearing masks at least through the summer, probably through 2021 is what my guess would be. But that kind of depends on how the science goes and how we do with vaccination in the United States. But for the foreseeable future, we will be wearing masks, not only to protect ourselves, but mostly to protect people who are at highest risk. And as we get people vaccinated, especially the 65 and older chronic diseases folks, we still also have to remember that we have not had information regarding vaccination of children yet, and they won't probably see vaccines until fall. And so once we get through this early portion of vaccination, we still have to remember that we need to look at what this disease process does to our kids.
And Dr. G, who seems to be more at risk to catch COVID?
Well, I think when you're looking at risk, we're all at risk for catching COVID. I think the question that is most salient is to think about which people are at risk for developing severe disease, because a lot of people will catch COVID and be asymptomatic or have very mild symptoms, kind of like a common cold. But when you're looking at people who are over the age of 65, people who have a heart disease, diabetes, those are the folks, or asthma, or things like some type of chronic lung disease. Those are the folks who are at really high risk of developing the severe lethal types of COVID that we've been seeing in the news. And so when we talk about wearing masks, especially folks who are young and healthy, 35 to 45-year-olds, really when we're saying wearing masks, and we're talking about protecting those around us, because we don't know which folks will have very severe disease, and we know and we've seen that this can be a very lethal virus. And so those are the folks that we're looking to protect.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. G, on beat with Dr. G. He's a monthly contributor to the Brandon Holt Show. You can also catch him next month. Stay tuned. Dr. G, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Brandon Holt Show this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be dishing out on all the current events. We're going to be talking about a lot of juicy stuff. So make sure you check it out. TK Trinidad from Los Angeles on the Brandon Holt Show.
Next guest is a celebrity journalist all the way from Los Angeles, California. She's here tonight to bring the news, the current news, the hot topics. Here we go, everybody. Come on, put your hands together for the one and only TK Trinidad in the house. Welcome, TK, to the show.
Bonjour. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, TK. TK, you got a lot going on out on the West Coast. What's new for you?
So much. So I have a couple of podcasts that I'm doing. I do some entertainment journalism for different networks. I run a business. Just trying to make money during the pandemic.
So let's talk about these different networks that you work with. What are some of the networks?
So you have like CPTV or CP24, which is in Canada, which is like the Canadian version of CNN. So that's one of the networks. You have like the Jasmine brand, EUR Web. So it's just kind of different small networks that I just kind of do entertainment hits for. Fox Sports, AM radio as well. So different things here and there. People call me and then I show up.
So you work for Fox Sports. So TK, I know you watched the Super Bowl. Did your team win?
No, my team didn't win, but I actually really enjoyed the commercials more because I really don't watch the commercials. I don't really watch commercials that often. So some of the commercials are really, really impressive. Like the one with Ashton Kutcher and his wife for the I think it was the Doritos or some chip brand. That was really good. And the one with Drake was really good. As far as the Super Bowl, yeah, I mean, it was going to play out how it was supposed to play out. Anybody who was betting, if you're betting for like the underdogs, then, that wasn't the right bet. So my team didn't win.
So TK, My team did win. I was pulling for the Patriots, actually. Experience, wisdom over youth.
I guess.
So, TK, have you always wanted to be a journalist? What got you in the field?
What happened was I ran track for Oregon. I ran pro for a couple of years, got injured.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life, and because I had just mainly been training all my life. I've been spent 6-7 years, focusing on track, and when I couldn't physically do that, I was walking down the street in some sweats, and a gym owner saw me and hired me to be a personal trainer. Had no idea what that involved. Became a personal trainer, became a very good personal trainer. I was charging, when I finished, I was charging about $125 an hour.
Wow.
And I was doing different entertainment segments and radio segments and different spots here and there. And that's what made me really want to get into television, because I want to impact people on a bigger scale than individual. So I ended up going back to school, getting my journalism degree, and my very first internship was at Stevie Wonder's radio station in Los Angeles. Pretty young.
So TK, I want to congratulate you. You have your own business. You're an entrepreneur. That's something that you're really investing your time in. Tell us about that.
So I started my own skincare business with my business partner. We both met on TMZ. We were both from the set of TMZ. And she moved over to Europe, and then she came back, and we started this business. So it's called Center in Skincare and Candles. Okay. And it's just one of those things that just started off really small. My business partner she's definitely more of the creative type. So one day, I came over and she was just making candles for a gift. And I'm like, why are you, like, who does that? And I was like, have you ever thought about selling? Because I was actually looking into different businesses to get into. And she said no. And I kind of convinced her. And, we made about 50 candles the first, maybe about a month later, sold all of them in about a week. And that kind of started our business. So we started off with candles. Then we went to cocoa butter. Body butter is the body washes, body scrubs. Now we just added facial oils. So we started the company in 2018. 2019, we made about $1,500 total for the year. 2020 happened, and probably right before the pandemic, I just hired somebody to do the website. I did the website myself, and I was like, this is okay, but let me hire a professional to do it. They did the website, and probably a few weeks later, the world shut down, and our sales pretty much skyrocketed about 200%. So we started off the year before with 1,500, or we ended the year before with 1,500, and we pretty much ended 2020 with almost $40,000.
So TK, can you send some candles to the Brandon Holt Show?
I can. The candles are really good. They're massage candles. So what you do is you can burn them, you let them sit for a little bit, then you can actually pour them in your hand, massage it on your body, or whoever you're dating, all that good stuff. Set it up for, Valentine's Day or whatever dating life you have, all that good stuff. So yeah, I could send some of that.
So to all of the viewers who are watching, how can they secure their own personal candle?
So you could secure your candles, body butters, all that good stuff. You can go to centerin.co, or you can go to our social media, which is centerinco on all social media platforms, and check out that. You can hit me up via DM, and we can make something work for you.
So TK, besides being interviewed by the Brandon Holt Show, what's been your greatest interview experience that you had? Come on, TK, give us a shout out now.
Are you saying me interviewing somebody or somebody interviewing me?
You interviewing somebody.
There's a few. One of the ones that's really current and that comes to mind is, you guys would know him as Luke Cage. So I interviewed him for a movie that he was doing maybe about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And, I posted the clip and everything like that, said thank you. And then last year, my birthday, I had like a birthday sale, and I, sent the sale to everybody. He ended up buying a lot of products, and then he shouted us out on his social media, and we were part of his top 10 list in New York Magazine. Great interviews. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite one. I just like connecting with people.
Well, TK, make sure you connect with us in the future and make one promise that you'll come back on the show.
Sure. If you have me, just call me, and I am a phone call away.
Definitely. Hey, everybody, this is celebrity journalist TK Trinidad on the Brandon Holt Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ciao.
Giving a shout out to the Brandon Holt Show. You don't want to miss the show, 7 p.m. Central Time this Tuesday. I'll be joining Brandon to talk about all things COVID, any of the questions that you may want to know, how COVID is affecting the brain. What's it like being a surgeon or a physician in the times of COVID? What is it like in the hospital right now? Is it safe to be in the hospital? Is it safe to come have elective surgery? Join us on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, and I can answer all your questions. Looking forward to seeing you.
Monthly contributor to the Brandon Holt Show. He is a neurosurgeon all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. His name is Dr. Grant Booher, here to introduce his new segment, Tips to Keep You Out of My Office. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dr. Grant Booher. Doctor, good evening to you.
Good to see you, Brandon. Glad to be back again.
Good, thank you so much. How are you and your family?
Oh, we're doing great. Trying to stay warm. It's cold here in Fort Worth, but overall doing great. Can't complain.
Doc, COVID-19, the vaccine is out, it's rolling, all kind of thoughts surrounding that. Tell us what your thoughts are on the whole vaccination.
You know, the COVID vaccine is something that has been debated by a lot of people. Personally, being in the healthcare field, I am exposed to all different types of patients. You know, my in-laws and my parents are, you know, a little bit higher risk for contracting COVID. We've done all that we could to stay safe through these times. It's been a strange, you know, last year. I think everyone can attest to that. And everyone is really fatigued and just tired of this thing, just ready for it to be over. But the fact that there is an immunization out there now is very promising. I think we've seen some of the numbers start to decrease. I went and got signed up, and I've already had both of my immunizations. I had the Moderna shot. You know, you really don't get a choice which one you get. I know a lot of people are a little bit hesitant because of some of the side effects from the shot. You know, and to be honest, everyone that I've talked to has responded a little bit differently to the shot. My very first shot that I had about a month ago. Typically, you know, you get a little bit of a sore arm after a shot, but this first shot that I had 24 hours after the shot, man, I felt like I had been working out for about a month. My arm was just super sore. I felt like my brother just punched me in the arm and gave me a, you know, frog in the arm, and it was like a truck hit me. But I really didn't feel that bad. Overall, it was just that sore arm that lasted about 24 hours, and then afterwards I was fine. I think a lot more people have had issues with the second immunization, you know, in terms of getting minor COVID-like symptoms for a weekend or 2-3 days. And I was fortunate that I had my second shot, and about 24 hours, I felt great. I didn't have any side effects, and I felt like I was going to be off scotch-free and no big deal. I didn't know what else everyone else was complaining about. I felt like Superman. And then come 5 o'clock, you know, about 24 hours after my first shot, I did start to get low-grade fever, chills, and I just felt exhausted. I think I went to bed like 6 o'clock. But I woke up the next morning and I felt great. I hadn't had any other side effects from it. And I feel very fortunate to have had the vaccine at this point. You know, I'm still being very cautious and wearing my mask in public around patients and stuff, and washing my hands regularly. But I just have a sense of relief, because now I don't feel like I'm nearly as prone to bringing this COVID home to my family. And that's been a huge sense of relief. So, you know, I think if anyone's in the position to get it, I highly recommend that they do. And hopefully we continue to see this trend of numbers coming down, and we can finally get back to some sense of normalcy.
Dr. Booher, we have a question from the audience. Someone
Sure.
asking, Dr. Booher, can I get the vaccines and still catch COVID down the line?
Well, you know, from everything that I have read, is that you get your first immunization and you're about 50% protected after 2 weeks, after your 2 weeks after your first immunization. Then you get your second immunization. And 2 weeks after getting that second immunization, you're about 95% protected. Granted, there's a lot of data coming out about these new highly infective strains of COVID. So, I don't think that this thing is necessarily completely over. And, even people who have had the actual COVID, been infected, they have some antibodies for several months. But, I don't know what the recommendation is off the top of my head in terms of people who've been infected, in terms of them getting the immunization. But, there is still that 5% chance, which is why I say and I stress that just because I've now got my immunization and I'm protected, I'm 95% protected. There's still that 5% chance that I could get this and I can pass it on to others. So I'm still doing my part, washing my hands, wearing my mask whenever I need to. And just trying to be cognizant of what I do, because, like I said, I think the quicker we all get on board and do the same thing, that we'll get over this thing.
This is Dr. Booher, neurosurgeon out of Fort Worth, Texas, with his new segment, Tips to Keep You Out of My Office. You can catch him every month. Make sure you follow him on all of his social media platforms. Dr. Booher, give us one quick tip to keep us out of your office.
In these times of COVID, people are sitting at home, working from home. It's easy to just work from home, then get on the couch. You people are on YouTube right now watching this show. There's plenty of resources out there. Yoga, exercise, stretching. Make sure you give yourself 10 minutes every single day of some sort of physical activity, some sort of exercise. Keep your spine healthy, and that'll keep you out of my office.
Everybody, put your hands together. That is Dr. Grant Booher. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My segment called Girl, Is That Legal? On the Brandon Holt Show Tuesday night. I'll be talking about the Texas Rent Relief Program as well as the Coronavirus Stimulus Act and how whatever state you're in, if you're not in Texas, any state, you can take advantage of up to 6 months of free rent if you're having trouble paying your rent or paying your utilities. So if you're a landlord or a tenant, make sure to tune in.
Symone, Redwine. Symone, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me on. I wanted to get this information out ASAP because today is the first day that they are accepting applications for the Texas Rent Relief Program. And guess what? It's not just about Texas. There are rent relief programs going on across America because it's part of the stimulus bill that was passed in January. So I just wanted to share with your viewers a little more about the program so both tenants and landlords can take advantage.
All right, here we go. Tell us about it.
Okay, so how it works is this. There were billions of dollars that have been set aside for tenants. So that's
wait. Symone, you said how much?
Billions. Would it be billions? That's right. Billions. And guess what? This is excellent for landlords. So there are so many, small business owners out there who are landlords, and it's also helping tenants. And guess what? This can help you even if your landlord has already started eviction procedures. So how it works is this. Basically, you apply through the program. You can go to texasrentrelief.org, Texas Rent Relief Program, texasrentreliefprogram.org. Okay. And from there, you can find, basically, they have the application that you can submit online. Either the tenant or the landlord can submit the application. Yes.
So, Symone, is there a salary cap on this?
Yes, there is. Okay. Great question. So the salary
we want to know, all the viewers out on the show, we want to know how we can benefit from this. So tell us about the salary cap.
When I get really excited, I can talk fast. So let me slow it down for you. Okay.
Slow it down.
So to qualify, you have to make 80% of the area median income, the area mean income. So that's the area average income, AMI. And there's a chart for that. So if you go Google Texas Rent Relief Program, they have a chart there that you can see because it changes per county. As an example, if you're in Harris County, which is the county for Houston, you have to make basically $44,000 or less if you have no children. The more children you have, of course, the more income that you can have. Okay, so it varies by county. So assuming that you qualify there, what you need to do is just go online and fill out the additional information. You can fill it out, or you can have your landlord fill it out, and you can sign it and agree to it. And what happens is the rent, when you're approved, the rent check will go directly to your landlord, which is excellent for landlords, right? They don't have to worry like, oh, my tenant's going to get this money. They're going to get their hair did. They're going to get whatever. You know, they don't have to have those concerns. The money is going to go to your landlord. But guess what else? Because for so many people like today, you see me, I'm not in my office. I'm not at my house. I had to be in a hotel because I lost power. So some people, we had a snowstorm. For some people who are having difficulty with their utilities, you also can get up to 6-month utility.
So on the 6-month rent and the 6 months utilities,
yes.
I hear you say in previous conversation that is not something that we have to pay back.
You do not. No, you don't have to pay it back because it's being paid for by the stimulus package that the Democrats and so forth passed in Congress. So yes, you don't have to pay it back. So, I mean, I want you guys to pick up your phone, call your granny, call your auntie, call your loved ones.
Today, right now.
Huh?
No, call them today, right now.
Call them today, because here's the thing. Every state is different. But for the state of Texas, applications open actually February 15th is when they open, and they're going to close February 28th. So chop, chop. You want to get up in there quick.
But Symone, I want to know all this stuff you're saying. Girl, is that even legal?
Of course it's legal. The government has passed laws to provide this financial assistance. So it's legal. In fact, they will cover your rent so long as your rent is within 150% of the market value. Wow. What does that mean? That means your rent can be about 50% higher than the market value, and they will still take care of it so long as your income qualifies.
So Symone, are we getting a stimulus package as well, or a stimulus payout? I know they were talking about.
So the Biden administration they have passed stimulus. So I believe it's an extra $1,400, and that's separate. That is separate and distinct from this rent relief package. But this package that's available, both there's one for Texas and there's one for each and every state. Of course, I couldn't go through all of the states, but I want you to immediately Google rent relief programs for your state. These were passed under the coronavirus stimulus relief. And I want you to find out about them because you want to apply as soon as possible because you want to get that money before it runs out.
Now, and also you had mentioned that there's a separate entity, which is a stimulus package. Is there a max salary to receive that? Because I've been hearing that, $50,000 to $55,000 is, if you make more than that, you cannot benefit from that.
I don't know. I have not looked into that. So I don't know what the max is for the new stimulus package. But my understanding is it was going to be based off of, they were arguing over whether it would be based off of your 2020 funds versus 19. Because a part of the problem is what people were making in 19 is not what they made in 2020. So to limit people based on income they made 2 years ago, many politicians felt was unfair. So the answer is, I don't know. Just because I went to law school don't mean I know it all. And I am one of the lawyers who will punch the ball to those who know more than I on a specific topic or will direct you to Google.
Hey, everybody. Symone, we appreciate you. You helped all of us tonight, including me, the host of this show. Hey, everybody. This is Symone Redwine, attorney, hopping attorney in Houston, Texas, with a monthly segment, Girl, Is That Legal? Now, check it out. Symone will also be back the first Tuesday in March. Now, Symone, if something else pops off in Congress, can you stop back through before March?
Of course.
All right, everybody, this is Brandon Holt. Stay tuned. We're going to go to commercial, and we will be right back.
Surgeon in Fort Worth. Just wanted to give you some advice on headaches. I see a lot of patients in my clinic that come in complaining of chronic headaches, migraines, tension headaches, carrying all their stress in the back of their neck. Generally, these are not chronic issues. A lot of patients are concerned about issues with the brain, but headaches are caused by many types of situations. Number one that I see is caffeine abuse, just reliance on caffeine. So one of the best things you can do to combat headaches and get relief is exercise. Cut out the caffeine, get a regular sleep cycle. These are some of the basic principles that'll keep you out of my office.
And you're tuning into the Brandon Hole Show, yeah. You can check it out on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time. You're gonna see me singing. What's my name? Rudy Currence here. You're tuning into the Brandon Holt Show on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you follow me. Check out my new single, I Belong Here. Check me out online, Rudy Currence. That's RUDYCURRENCE. Much love.
Here to perform his new hit single, I Belong Here. Put your hands together for a Grammy award-winning artist, Rudy Currence.
So I wrote this song a few years ago called I Belong Here. Now realizing that we'd all currently be in a pandemic and people would need this reminder that you have a place in the world. So I like to sing a little bit of it. It goes like this. There is a place for me. There is a place for me. There is a place for me in the body of Christ. Yes, there is a place for me. There is a place for me. There is a place for me in the body of Christ. I belong here. Said I belong here. Oh, I belong here. Oh, I belong. This might be my favorite part. It says, for somebody like you to love somebody like me, for somebody like you just to include me out. Wouldn't have it that way when I stepped out of the line. Your love stepped in my place, said I belong here. Yeah. And Brandon, I feel a remix. Can I remix it just a little bit?
Come on, Rudy.
Listen.
Come on, Rudy.
Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost. Somebody out there know, but now I found. I was blind. Oh, but thank God now I see. And you know what? Oh, I belong here. Yeah.
Everybody, that's Rudy Currence with his hit single, I Belong Here.
Thank you. God bless y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome Rudy to the Brandon Holt Show. Good evening, Rudy.
Good evening, Brandon. Thanks so much for having me, man. It's an honor to be here.
Rudy, it's just an honor to have you. Thank you for coming on the show. Now, you're based in Atlanta, Georgia?
I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Rock Hill, South Carolina, right outside Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, so do the singers come out of South Carolina or Atlanta? What are you claiming here?
They come out of, wherever you're from, you rep your city. I am from the Carolinas, but Atlanta has shown me so much love. And so I represent them both. Hopefully I'll represent them well. So, but nothing but love for Atlanta, nothing but love for the Carolinas.
So Rudy, take me on the journey when you started singing.
Wow. So it's been a long, amazing journey. I started singing at the age of 3. I sang my first solo. I sang Deck the Halls, and my parents didn't know I could sing. So, but I come from a very long line of musicians. and creatives. And so I'm grateful. My dad is a pastor, so I grew up playing and singing in Rock Hill, South Carolina, along with my brother, my younger brother, who is an amazing producer, Michael Starr. He actually produced my last Billboard charting single, Testimony. And so we just grew up. My mom actually managed us, would take us around. I mean, we started locally at churches and family picnics, and then made it all the way to Showtime at the Apollo, and won that on TV. So, it's just been an amazing journey. I majored in music at Furman University, and then continued with my recording career. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing people. And now I'm here talking to the incomparable Brandon Holt. So
listen to you, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So Rudy, did you ever have a desire to sing R&B, or was it always gospel?
Actually, most of my career I've done R&B soul. So, majoring in music, it broadened my horizons, and just getting to sing. I was on scholarship at Furman University for music, so I studied everything from Italian opera and arias and art songs to German lieder. And so music is so broad. And I don't think that I could ever narrow it down to just one genre. I just want to make good music. I want to make something that I can leave a mark and a legacy behind in this world, and just affect change in a good way in the world.
Powerful, man. So I have a question. Now, you grew up in the church. Your father's a pastor. You grew up singing R&B. You're singing gospel. Couple questions here.
Yes, sir.
Can you mix the two? And I know there's oftentimes there's a judgmental mindset with the parishioners. If you have a member who can sing, they grew up singing gospel, then they, have headed down the R&B path. How do you bring the two together and keep peace on both sides?
Well, I believe that I can. That was the question. So, can you do both? Yes, you can. I believe I can. I believe that one of the purposes and the calls on my life is to be a bridge, and that's one of the reasons I set out to do this faith-based project, is because I want to present a bridge. I think one of the fatal things that are ideologies that we have as believers is that it's us versus them. And I think that if you follow and model the approach of Jesus Christ, you see that he was out amongst the people. He would go out to the people that nobody else would talk to, and those are the people that he reached out to first. And most people, if you really talk about God and you know who he is, God is love. So God can be love in an R&B song. God can be love in the four walls of the church.
Like that. I like that. Rudy, man, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, first of all, happy belated birthday, Rudy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Everybody wants to know. They all want to know, how old are you, Rudy? Come on now, tell the truth.
Oh, I'm old enough to have a #1 song in the country. Look at God. Won't he do it?
Okay, won't he do it? Tell us about this #1 song on the Billboard. Man, I Belong Here. I've listened to the song multiple times. Take me in the mindset of when you put the song together and what the song means to you.
Wow. So I wrote the song several years ago, and it really was more of a self-affirmation. I was getting ready to embark on doing this faith-based project. And, if anybody growing up in church has experienced church hurt, the church hurt is some of the worst hurt. You don't see it coming. And so the song, in a way, was healing and therapeutic for me. It just reminded me that God has purpose and an assignment in my life, and there's something specific that unique that he created me for. Fast forward to 2020, and we all fell into this global pandemic, and there was a new revelation that kind of was birthed out of the song, and it just says that no matter what you're going through, if you're lonely, if you're experiencing isolation or lost loved ones, financial hardships, that you still are special, that you're still loved, that you still have a place in the world, that you belong here too. So I'm just grateful to have a message, man, that's reaching so many people right now.
Rudy, when I listened to the song the first time, even the second and third time, when I heard you singing I Belong Here, I didn't see someone singing to perform. I didn't see someone trying to get a rise out of the audience. I saw conviction.
Wow.
Someone who actually was living and believing what they were singing. And I think that's why that song is so powerful, because it's ministered, because it's like we can feel your testimony while you're singing that song. And I just want to congratulate you and thank you for putting such a fine piece of music out that will definitely be around for generations to come.
That means the world. Thank you so much. That's definitely my goal as an artist. So.
And you've worked with some big time names: Kurt Franklin, David Banner, Quincy Jones, Ray J, and on and on. What's it like working with those guys? Because you are in that company.
Wow, thank you. I'm honored. It's just amazing that a little PK from Rock Hill, South Carolina, can go on to work with so many amazing people. In 2013, produced and wrote for Lecrae, was featured on his album. We won a Grammy and a Dove for that. 2015, got a chance to work with Karen Clark Sheard. Wrote a song for her called Sunday Morning with my big cousin Donald Lawrence, and that song was Grammy nominated. So I got a chance to take my whole family to LA to attend the Grammys. And I just, who would have believed or thought, that when we all set out to do this, that God would allow me those opportunities. Got to be in the Quincy Jones video and singing on his song on ABC's The View, just all these amazing things. And now most recently, did all of this work for other artists. And now it's like, God, it's like, I haven't forgotten about you. Now your song is now number one on the gospel charts. So it's just been an amazing journey. And I believe it's a lot more to come.
So what type of partnerships are you interested in as far as connecting to help publicize this message with the song?
You know what? Unconventional. I'm open. The same way musically, I've collaborated with a lot of different people. Worked with MCs. Of course, I'm a singer, a vocalist. I've worked with a lot of different people, different genres and different things like that. So I am open. Of course, faith-based communities would love to do things like that. We are in the process of relaunching some faith-based apparel. I Belong Here, testimony tees, and hashtag hope. But I'm really open, and I really believe that partnerships and collaborations are the way of the future, especially for creatives. So I'm totally open to whoever wants to work, as long as they are ready to work and legit. Let's do it, and on brand, of course.
Now, Rudy, I typically don't always ask this, but you just mentioned hashtag hope. Hashtag is such a popular word. Hashtag hope. Would it be too much to ask you to sing that?
You know what? I got you, Brandon, because I'm so glad to be here. I would love to sing a little bit of, my song, hashtag hope. Just
all right,
for you and your listeners.
Let's take a listen to hashtag hope.
I hope my brothers and sisters won't have to live in afraid. I hope that mothers and fathers will live to see the day they don't have to bury their children. Hashtag hope. I hope to see tomorrow. I hope it's brighter than a day. I hope I live to see my children and my children's children graduate. I hope the innocent remain innocent. I hope the guilty are convicted. And when I say that I can't breathe, I hope somebody listens. All we have is hope. Hashtag hope. You can hashtag hope. So when your back's up against the rope, you can hashtag hope. Cause people are dying, the whole world's crying. If you agree with me, hashtag hope. If you agree with me, say you agree with me. Can't you see I need your hashtag hope? Yeah. Woo! Yeah. These people are dying, the whole world's crying. If you agree with me, hashtag hope.
Hey. Rudy, I was really feeling the song, man.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. I wrote that song several years ago, actually, kind of like I Belong Here, and I was inspired by the Eric Garner case when he said those last infamous words, "I can't breathe," and then to be in the pandemic and see George Floyd say the same fatal words, it just it sparked something. It was like, I gotta put the song out because people need to know that we are not only frustrated and hurt, but we need to heal from this trauma that we're seeing and figure out ways to deconstruct systemic racism. So,
and music is medicine to the soul, which your songs definitely are healing.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't take it lightly. Just being a recording artist, anybody that's a public figure, you have influence, and you gotta be responsible with that. So I'm grateful again to have these messages like I belong here and hashtag hope that can help people to heal when they're hurting in such a time like this.
So, Rudy, do you have any particular mentors that have? I know you say your father's a pastor. I'm assuming he's had an influential part in your life. Do you have any other mentors that have really inspired you along the way, so that where you are today, you have people that you've paid homage to?
Well, you know what? I definitely give credit not only to my dad, who is I consider him my first piano teacher. He's my pastor, but I also give credit to my mom. They are, such an amazing team, and they have instilled so many values in my brother and I. Big shouts to my brother. Of course, you can see I'm family oriented. I'm actually at their house right now, and my everybody's sitting, sitting quietly listening. Even my niece, my baby, uncle's baby, Isla. Everybody.
You have to give a shout out if they're sitting there listening.
Right. So you got some new fans, Brandon.
Oh, great.
But yeah, man. So they have been influential in my life. Also musically, I'm inspired by some of the greats: Michael Jackson, Prince, Donny Hathaway, of course, the Clark sisters. I think Twinkie Clark is she is a musical genius. And of course, mentors like David Banner. I'm so excited and so grateful that he got on the hashtag Hope remix. And also I was featured on his album on the God Box, Marry Me. So he's been a big brother to me in this industry as well.
Rudy, you see a lot of one-hit wonders in the music industry, and you see those as yourself who have longevity. What are some of the keys to sustaining a long, productive career in the music industry?
Wow. For me personally, as a believer, I always just believe in keeping God first. I'm learning even more in this pandemic to quiet my mind and listen for God's instructions on how to move. And I believe that he orders our steps. I think also knowing the business, people perish for the lack of knowledge. And just as a creative, sometimes we can be so passionate, but we don't have any, I majored in music, which means is I studied music. And even if you don't major in music or major in what you are pursuing in life, major in perfecting that craft. So I think that that's very important. And then thirdly, keep people around you that love you enough to celebrate you when you are right, and respectfully tell you when you're wrong. So those are my advice.
That, Rudy. I like that. Keep people around you that are going to celebrate you and encourage you, who want to actually see you win. And I can imagine in the position that you are, there's a lot of people coming at you from different directions, and you have to keep that circle small, tight. You got to shrink your circle. How important is it to have that support team around you, not just in music or the industry, but in any aspect of life?
I think it's important in every aspect of life. I think the most important thing is to learn how to believe in yourself. And during this pandemic, I've had a lot of time to reflect on me. And I think that we all should take that time. But then secondary to that, I think having people just around you that, of course, affirm you. This has been an amazing week for me. It's my birthday week. It's my first #1 single, in the country. So many things, so many great things are happening.
Awesome,
and just
man.
having family and friends around you that can celebrate those moments and those highlights with you, but then also encourage you through the valleys of your life too. So I think it's important in every aspect, personal and professional.
And it's very apparent, Rudy, that you're a very humble man, and that
Thank you.
God is using you and you're blessing people. And I just want to commend you and encourage you, man. Keep pushing for the stars. Don't stop. Keep going. Even if you fall off, course, stay on our schedule, stay on course, man. Just keep going. What's next for you?
Wow. So I'm excited. We're going to continue to push I Belong Here. I have several more visuals coming soon. I'm working
Okay.
on the forthcoming album, Stained Glass Windows. Of course, we will be relaunching the Testimony Tee, I Belong Here, and hashtag Hope Apparel. Planning to do more virtual touring. So doing a lot of that during this
Wow.
pandemic. So just a lot of plans, and hopefully the next single will be coming soon, and got some noise and some news about that. So I'm excited. So, and big shouts to Leslie and the PR for my publicist for all of this, helping me set this up.
And Rudy, promise us one thing, that whenever your newest album or single drops, that you come by the Brandon Holt Show and give us a little sample.
Absolutely. If you'll have me, I would love to come here.
Hey, Rudy, everybody's got to take it away on the Brandon Holt Show, man. We want you to throw those handles out here. Everybody, this is my main man, Rudy Currence, international award-winning recording artist. Make sure you check out his single, I Belong Here, all digital platforms. Get ready. Rudy's getting ready to win a big award. I'm speaking it right now. I'm speaking this Grammy. It's coming. Rudy, how can they follow you? Take it away.
Brandon Holt, man. Thank you so much for having me, man. Of course, y'all can follow me on social media. Follow me on my website, rudycurrence.com. Of course, sign up for my email list. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's Rudy at Rudy Currence. Everything, Facebook, just at RUDYCURRENCE, and I'll be there.
There it is, everybody. Hey, this is Brandon Holt with Rudy Currence.